Yes, bro. Walk it like a talk, walk it like a talk, walk it like a
Hello? typical gamer, not playing very typical to me at all, showing us that, you know what, he belongs here, he belongs in these qualifiers. But we have Johnny and Dade up top, still just taking out Syllable. He falls down, Vibes goes down in mid-ground, and it looks to be now a 2v1v1, Shai.
Absolutely. We look at these guys finally getting to drop down near the end of the 9th circle. Johnny looking for any shots while Dade plays up for insurance. Typical gamer in a very sandwichy spot, but there is no yummy, scrumptious, delicious dessert for him today as he gets knocked. Sizer also going down at the very end. Johnny dropping down, doing all the work, while his duo Dade gets up there and gives him the info to play it out.
I love that. I love when you see duos split like that. They recognized that it was going to be a 2v1. So what they did was, like you said, drop down. One plays a close quarter combat, applies pressure that way. The other one stays up top, raining down shots from above. You have two angles of pressure. And being that solo player, you know your chances are not high that you're getting out of that alive.
Not at all. It's always a rough spot. We're speaking about rough spots and looking at them. FaZe Jarvis here, who is at the moment no shields, less HP than 100. Anything can kind of take him out. Just a head dink by an AK or anything that kind of touches him or breezes him is going to put him in a very more shambles position. Although, you know, when you're in these positions, your back's against the wall, that's where you start making these big desperate plays that players don't expect. A lot of loot available for them now. Tilt getting back up his shields all the way up to 24. He has a little bit of leeway now as well to play in with the zone. They have minis as well that Tilt takes. Jarvis kind of being left there stranded, but, you know, he's a good player. I know he can get it out. He can easily go out there, get some more elims, get his health topped off as well.
Yeah, it looks like Jarvis said, you know what, you take the minis. I'm just going to take this big shield here. Jarvis did pick up the RPG, but put it back down. So it's going to be interesting to see if they choose to pick that up. They may not have the ammunition for it, but in that position, Shai, do you pick up the RPG and just have it in your inventory, say over, for example, 2 bandages? Or do you just leave it and say, you know what, we're not going to see if we can pick up any more ammo. It's going to be a wasted slot. What do you do?
I mean, if you want to have a guarantee, if you want to just stick to your game plan and not get distracted, you know, tunnel visioning is a big thing that duos start to get into. Some people might play too much around the RPG. That's where practice comes in, right? Maybe these guys saw, and here we go, actually. This is another strat I was about to bring up. Sometimes you can carry the RPG, use all the rockets, and then take your bandages and be on with your day. But for the moment, it looks like they did find a few more rockets, are going to play off that RPG, giving away the bandages, making this their prime focus of utility. It's a very smart decision when players decide to keep one source of big bang momentum utility and then play around that, make that their win condition. And that's what Jarvis and Tilt are going to do, who are actually now looking a lot healthier in metal instead of brick now, in a very good spot to move out in the zone.
They're in an excellent position right now, but I really just have to point out here, we have 43 players alive, so the effectiveness of that RPG is going to be absolutely huge. When you have this many players in this small of a zone, it is chaotic, it is loud, shots are raining from everywhere, so utilizing this RPG and maybe, like you said, just dropping it later for other things might not be too bad of an idea when there are this many players vying for real estate on this map right now.
Yeah, they don't call it the Wild Wild West for no reason, as a lot of people are going to be switching layers. A big flick coming up from Jarvis. Holy moly, as he gets a nice head dink off. He gets Pepe off on rotation as well right before the launch pad. Him and Jarvis now going to be moving up Tilt. We'll see if he can pick up anything. Both players putting in the same amount of work as they find their own layer to pop off on.
Yeah, and you can see there Tilt actually utilizing the slipstream as cover. Did you see he was kind of floating down beside it because he recognized that there were players in front of him, and you can do that. They will block shots. It's a form of natural cover, so very, very high IQ play coming out of FaZe Tilt. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Exactly. It's all about being dynamic, seeing that 1 second decision and taking less than a second to confirm that decision. It saves you mats, saves you health, saves you a lot of things. Now you can utilize that position, that advantage on HP, just as Tilt's doing here. Some shots coming in, but that reload, unfortunately, being something that stops him from the eliminations. Their top is going to get dropped down as they drop down as well. Tilt, Jarvis getting stuck in his own pyramid. Shadow bombs coming out. Luckily, someone did edit a door as they both jump out, hopefully sticking together. One of the big things duos have is getting lost on these rotation solo items where there's one person in the ball, one person in the shadow. But by week 10, this is where people are kind of used to everything. They've practiced with it a lot, and they just pop off. Tilt now now looking for any angles with that heavy sniper to follow up with. Not sure where Jarvis is for the moment. 26 duels left alive as we get, or 26 players left alive, excuse me, as we get towards the placement points. Dard getting picked up from the backside of the zone. Telt's going to be moving through, taking a bit of zone damage off of that as well. Will it be worth it? He's going to lose a lot of shield too, blocking someone off. Jarvis very low, gets eliminated. 15 duels now left alive, so Tilt did pick up those placement points along with a few Elam points as Rex gets picked up as well. And it's coming down, not his floor though, on the edge of Storm. Destroyer carnage on the backside of zone as he destroys his opposition. Bumboy going down towards Stinks. Destroyer actually almost makes it out but falls to the Storm. Landon and Cortex on height now. Crayon going to be moving around a lot of different layers available, but it's actually kind of unique, Pookie. The height is not too high at the moment. What does that kind of spell for the rest of the game for those mid and low ground tarps?
I mean, it's much easier for them to know and recognize who is on high ground at that point, but they have to be very careful because it does not take much for Cortex or Landon to just make the play and make the decision to drop down. We talked about this a little bit earlier on. You know, these players on NA West, they are vying for one spot. So you're going to see these plays just like this where Cortex makes that split decision to just take out the box. That player does fall down. That was Flair. He is out of this game. We have a few people still in mid ground, but we have Landon down at the bottom with Aldum. Aldum is by himself. He is by himself. Lucas got taken out earlier, so Synergy Aldum just by himself here. It is going to be a 2v1. Shy, we've seen it so many times before. Call this one.
Cortex and Landon on the top side of this Storm. It is the 9th circle, so it will be closing out in about 50 seconds here. Can Aldum pull this together? He does have the mats, but can the mats survive the spray? Landon now going for a few angles, but Aldum sensing that drops down another layer. This is his last layer, though. Dodging that combat shotgun shot. Landon taking a little bit of zone damage and receiving some damage from Aldum in return as well. Cortex now has to be the brains of this group as he has the most shield. Will he drop down first? Will Landon play insurance? No, they're going to send Landon down. Nope, they're going down together actually, playing off of edits. Aldum finally taking 50 shots to his shields. His shields drop down. The 2v1 just perfectly played there. Did lose a little bit of HP on the initial push, but at the end of the day, these guys clean it up. Very nice janitorial services, and they get through with that game. Very dope.
Very well played by those two. We've seen it time and time again. You know, I love duos just because they're so dynamic, but every time we see the 2v1, my heart just sinks. I feel for that solo player. I've been in that position so many times myself. Your heart is pounding, the blood is pumping, but no time for that. We are taking a look at Ghost, Aiden, and Ghost Sean. Aiden participating in the Pro-Am this past weekend. I had the opportunity to talk with him, and you know, just a great guy all around. I love to see him in these qualifiers doing well, and he is going to actually be pushing forward and pressuring this box here. There are two players inside of it. He makes the edit. He gets the shot off of Refined. Refined goes down, and Ghost Aiden coming in with the cleanup there and says, you know what? Where's your partner?
Exactly.
I'm going to look for him. Aiden smells blood right now, and he gets Espaz. Espaz is gone. Aiden making quick work of the edits, just the flicks. Absolutely incredible player. Deserves everything. Aiden, I love you.
Absolutely. He's using this cool trick that you can, I think, only do on controller for the moment. So one advantage to them where they can actually shoot and wall replace at the same time because their button functionality is a little bit different from the PC players. So him using that twice to actually take the advantage of those opponents' walls, you know, ping might be a factor, might not be, but very, very smart knowledge there, knowing when to use those tricks, when they can be a bit too overbearing. He cleans it up though very, very nicely, gets some easy shots as Arkram now is going to be, he's going to be up top in the leaderboards actually with Falconer as well. We'll see if they can pop off at this moment. 42 points for them. They have the Chug Splash, 6 minis, 2 Shadow Bombs as well. So they're sitting very, very nice on rotational items, but Arkram is rocking that tac shotgun, obviously not a combat, might hurt him on those long range engagements when he needs to follow up if he can't use his heavy AR. We'll see what these guys can do on this low ground.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of players opting for the combat shotgun over the tactical shotgun, just because, like you said, for range it is a little bit better. But Slight falling to Arkham there, just a few quick shots with his heavy AR, just taking him out there completely. Falconer kind of just hanging out back. I think he knows that Prequel is there. He understood that 100%, getting the edit out. And Plart, Prequel's partner, is staying back there as well. So let's see if Falconer and Arkham go for the engagement here. They've already got a little bit of damage inflicted on them, but it looks as though they are opting at this point to maybe just disengage for now.
Absolutely. They're also really, really good on mats on this low ground tarp as well, so they could tunnel in if they wanted to. They do have rotation as well. Aiden and Sean are going to be controlling that mid to high ground section. Sean now busting out 30 HP taken from Storm. Will it be worth it? Will his position rule at the end of the day? We'll see him trying to fight for height. Pyramids up, going to stick with the mid ground there. A person in his box as Sean goes down to Valafen. Valafen going to be finishing up that elimination. Aiden now looking out, going to be playing this game solo. As you said, it's so hard, but they've done work in the lobby already, Pookie. 8 eliminations available or taken from them from the server. Punisher also in this game as well, so a lot of high ranked on the leaderboards individuals. We'll see how it all pans out. Aiden now on his last smoke on the 6th Storm. Now he's going to have to use his brains, his understanding of when to pressure, his knowledge on how people are rotating on the map. Right now looking for a horizontal peak. A lot of shield damage coming out. No defense from Prequel. He goes down. Aiden picking up the duo. Plart and Prequel both falling to his Tommy gun spray, his patented Tommy gun spray as well. He's going to see if he can get one more peek out. No, now on rotation. Pressure versus positioning here is the question of the game. That trap blocking a sight line as well as that metal goes straight to opaque from see-through. Landjock, Punisher actually going down from that duo. Landjock taking a bunch of storm damage but phases up one tier of tarp. He's going to be easily surviving this moment, but will he be able to live a little bit longer with that less of HP?
Yeah, and it looks like Aiden is going to take this moment to maybe just try and get a big shield off. He isn't going to be able to. The storm is right at his back. He did take 10 damage there, so he's going to be very careful. He needs to get a siphon here. He needs to get some kind of knock, and he does. He gets it on Smooth. Shy Smooth falls down. Aiden breaks out of the box with 75 HP. He is rushing forward. He has the mats. He can keep doing this. He needs to keep going. He needs to try and get himself healed up, and this is exactly the play that I wanted to see coming out of Aiden right now. Using the campfire to get that a little bit more effective health. He wasn't unfortunately able to get any shields off. He is going to really have to try and get some time to get those 3 big shields, or 2 rather, added to his name if he wants any shot at lasting in this game right now.
Absolutely. Shields are a big privilege in these end game circles. Health is what most people love to have. We'll see if he can get those big shields off, playing with a classic loadout as Falconer misses a quick snipe but catches himself with that redeploy. He also has a heavy sniper available, which is not reloaded at the moment, but doesn't need to be, as the combat is the main player of his loadout at the moment. Another redeploy catch coming in, going to make him a very, very sneaky and infamous coming in from the backside of the zone. Finally catches up to Arkham. Going to be looking for shots. Again, they own all the walls. The walls see and hear everything these duels are doing, and they're calling back saying, "Give me elims. It's my turn now."
It's
Boom.
my turn for elims. Falconer there using his shields to get himself healed up. We see Aiden unfortunately going down. His reign in this game is over. We have a cow at the very top, ultimate high ground, and here we have Arkham and Falconer down ultimate low ground, utilizing their builds to try and get those edits out. Recognizing where there's opponent right on the other side of that wall. They're going to make the edit. They do. They make the edit. This is why it's so powerful to build out like that when you're on ultimate low ground. You need to be tarping like that because you have all the control, Shy.
I believe Epic Will was also 4th, and he goes down when we last checked up on the leaderboards. Unfortunately, Falconer and Arkham, though, are both going to be alive in this end game, as it is, and it looks like a 1v1, v2 at the moment. LV going up. Arkham, Falconer going to retain that high ground. We'll see if they can close this game out. Falconer dropping down as Arkham stays up top. LV in a box, but gets bopped as he falls all the way down. Doesn't look like he had any mats left for that one, or maybe he fell down to the pressure. Very, very clean win from Falconer there.
Very, very clean indeed. Falconer and Arkham pulling out 11 eliminations, securing themselves that victory royale. Congratulations to those two. We are just getting started with these NA West games. They are on fire in this region right now. Bala, have you been watching?
I have. We're about halfway through NA West, and that is just a presentation of why Falconer and Arkham
are at the top of leaderboards and why they've already qualified. Zeke, we've got some stuff to look at, some highlights, some breakdowns from those last 4 games.
For sure, my man. Let's take a look at Bolt, Johnny, and Dottie. This dynamic duo, I mean, they just represent what you should be doing here, right? Like, this is going to be the skill gap you're looking to achieve all the time. You know, we've heard from several players as far as like 12-hour days of nothing but Fortnite. And this is what this translates to, right? Bolt, Johnny, and Dottie together, they're just maintaining high ground, tearing through players in these late game circles. Now we're going to be watching them through until a victory royale here. And just watch, you know, you can see a lot of team coordination, knowing when to tarp, when to have your dual partner apply pressure. And you see Dottie there on Johnny's left, and he just continuing team fire, right? And in this moment, Johnny's like, all right, I need to tarp out, keep our momentum going. We cannot be stopping for anything. We have to be ready to move. And again, just knowing how to navigate fights, knowing how to isolate enemies and lock them down. It's very important, especially in these moments, right? Like, you make a simple mistake and it's going to cost you. Here, they just get the drop and shut the player down. Massive victory out for them. Now, Cortex and Landon here, similar kind of situation in the late game. We saw not that long ago, just the way they kind of terrorize this entire lobby. And this is almost a textbook win, right? They're in a 2v1 right now. Cortex taking the lead, Landon trying to split attention there for just a moment, just to distract the enemy players. But of course, now we're going to take a look at the standings.
So Arkham and Falconer with that win that we just saw, pushing themselves up to 61 points. But of course, this duo is already qualified. So right now, it's Epic Whale and 40R Storm who are getting that one spot that they need. And of course, this duo is kind of a last-minute change, right? We usually see Epic Whale with Sealmat, but 40R Storm and Epic Whale have qualified in solo. So who knows? Maybe this is the formula that you need to get to New York and NA West.
Yeah, I mean, they're making it work for them, right? Sitting here in second place with the 49 points. So don't forget, there is only the single spot. So if they stay just below Falconer and Arkham, that means they could potentially qualify. But don't forget, we've only got a handful of games played, right? You said it best. We're halfway through, but there's still anyone could jump up, right? Look at from 49 down to 42. That's a 7-point differential. That's just one good game. Hitting top 5 will net you the difference there, right?
And again, this spot really is not counted. Obviously, they're doing the best. They're going to get that #1 spot in the prize money, but this is all what we're talking about. I mean, 49 to 42, you just said it, 7 points. That's nothing. That really isn't anything at all. But some of these other guys as well, we just talked about Dade and Johnny. We broke down that win. They're at 43 right now, and they've got 3 games played, so they're starting to heat up a little bit, and that's typically what we see from them. Zeke, they always start at the top of the leaderboard early, but then end up falling down slightly a little bit. We also want to take a moment to check out, you know, what's going on the socials, Zeke.
Yes, so in case that you maybe didn't hear, we actually have a new Twitter handle that is FN Competitive. Check it out. That is going to be your go-to for all things Fortnite competitive going on in the future. Check it out. Send it a follow. We'll constantly be posting updates, things coming up. We've got trios tournament, Fortnite World Cup finals. This is all going to be like the new one-stop place, one-stop shop.
Yeah, it's
one-stop shop.
I don't know.
I think that's
one-stop
right.
shop. You got it.
Yeah,
we'll got it. Hey, there's
anyway,
clips, everything there. I've been checking it out all day. It's awesome. You got to throw it a follow. But with that, we need to get back into the games. And we're going to throw it over back to Shy Wager and Pookie.
Thank you, Bala.
Don't mind us. We're just over here playing around with filters on our phone. It's actually hilarious. I didn't hear anything Zeke just said there. Doesn't really matter, probably. But hopping right back into these NA West games, we're looking up for Corey right now and his duo partner, Brogstar. We saw them play a little bit earlier. These guys look like they have a ton of synergy, but, you know, I suppose you're going to get that when you are playing together for 12 hours a day. And just a little bit of a side note here, I just got word that Corey was actually a golden ticket winner. He did play in the Creative Showdown at on the games this weekend. He was on the Little Whip team, so kudos to him for, you know, showing up and saying, you know what, I can play more than just creative games. I've got this competitive edge in me as well.
Absolutely. Back when TwitchCon was a thing, I actually think I had a conversation with Corey. We were about to duo for a second, but the regional difference with him being West and me being East kind of blocked that entire engagement out. He has been grinding for a long time, though. A little bit of name changes going out here and there as well, but, you know, always saying OG to that broccoli start from the get-go. He's going to be kind of having some trouble on mid-ground here, so we'll see if he can actually own up and get height. He is going to be solo duo now. Jaeyoung going up for a quick Elam, getting blocked, but his duo comes in from the sky Batman style and breaks in through the skylight, picking up that next elimination as well, saving the time from that engagement. That's a big thing, especially when you're fighting on these big mid and high ground layers. The more time you take, the more your fight expands, the more you get into risky positions, the more you can get into trouble. So Jaeyoung and his duo just playing that timing perfectly, and now have a nice perch to set up on, Pookie. We'll see if they can find any angles when they're looking out up top.
Yeah, and just to your point, Shai, actually, now that you mention it, ever since the introduction of the combat shotgun and the pump being vaulted, I feel like engagements are lasting a little bit longer. You're not getting the one-shot pump shotgun to the face anymore and ending engagements really just like that. So, an excellent point to bring up there, and just really recognizing that, engagement time does matter, especially when you get into these late zones and having to rotate into the next. Trying to get your opponents taken out as quickly and as efficiently as possible is key.
Yeah, I can feel that combat nerf there, as well as those shots hit for about a total collective of 15 damage, usually hitting for a lot more. Maximo might be frustrated at that, but he does have a lot of mats and 3 elims going on to this stick circle rotation. We'll see if he can grab height as he 90s up, blocking off the competition. Very smart placements of floors as he moves up as well from tier to tier of height. He's going to start focusing down on the backside of the storm. That's instinct to a lot of good players at this moment now. 10 weeks of practice, you know exactly where to look when you're done rotating. Maximo now going up for that big call to take out this whole mid-ground layer. Can they find shots on this newly builded brick now? We'll see if he can get into a better vantage point. Psych looks like he might have died to the storm, or got eliminated to the storm when these guys were moving in. He got a little bit of a damage tag on him there. Maximo doing a really good job of keeping a track and eye on everyone in the storm circle or in the zone at the moment.
Yeah, and Jaeyoung actually doing a really great job of tarping beside Maximo, making sure that where they're walking right now, because they are on ultimate high, is completely reinforced and they don't need to worry about being shot down. Maximo having a little bit of trouble here getting out of this storm, does take 2 ticks of storm damage, but does recover nicely, hits for 15. There isn't going to get a knock or an elimination, but it doesn't matter because Jaeyoung and Maximo are on maximum height. But look at Howl going up there in the baller, just maybe making a play for high ground, but maybe trying to pose as a little bit of a distraction against these two. Unfortunately, Howl does have to be careful because those ballers don't have as much health as they used to. Jaeyoung raining down shots at this point. They aren't really going to be getting anything right now. They need to do something at this point. There are still 16 players alive. They only have 5 eliminations between the two of them, which is great, but there is only 1 spot, Shy, so every point matters. These guys need to be fragging right now.
Absolutely, and pop-off games are always a thing as well, so you got to be playing the best you can on each game, and the best is good for Maximo as he gets a nice 3-tap off in the air, getting that elimination. A quick wall replace edit with pressure, a rift available, but he decides not to actually take the rift as well, holding height for his duo to come back down and then possibly looking back up for the beam. Just high IQ plays here as white damage is on his enemies. Devi goes down, 60 hertz not being enough to let him see the right play. Jaeyoung moving around, 7 elims for this duo together. Still more people rifted up in the air. A gift from Devi there, that rift that just allowed these guys to get that high tier, once again taking out all those high ground mid tarps. Gibby and Temple now on that high mid tarp as well, moving in. Pookie, they've got so much healing and a rift on deck as well. How would you segment out using this stuff near the end of the game?
Well, at this point, what I would be doing, they're doing it perfectly. They should be popping minis and then using the chug splash there to get themselves each up as high as they possibly can. Each one of those are healing for 20 HP, and it does have that area of effect, so using that as soon as you can is going to be great. But I like to see that they are able to actually take out a player as well. So Jaeyoung does take a little bit of damage, but he is going to get the 50 siphon off of that. It will bring him back up to 200 HP. Maximo and Jaeyoung looking very strong right now, taking out another player, absolutely just bodying these players in this lobby.
You talk about Maximo, he's playing at the maximum potential at the moment from this high ground. Nevelak at the bottom with Pash. Looks like it's going to be a classic 2v2, but Jaeyoung has that momentum at the moment. Pash going to be looking for some shots, not being able to connect too much at the moment. Nevelak getting knocked down. Pash in a 1v1 now. Jaeyoung going for the finish. Both players actually going for the finishes for their respective HP. He's taking a lot of shield damage. Doesn't look like he has any more mats to use. Pash up top. Jaeyoung using that backup rift. Is it the right decision? We'll find out in just a the moment. Any tree to land on, anything. Jae-young taking a lot of shots. Does he have a landing spot? 1 second left. The chug splashes coming in. Is it enough? Pash hit the storm. Oh my lord! Jae-young, the last second clutch. The chug splashes. The third time we've seen it today, and probably the most clutch we've seen it as well. As he gets the top spot. Most IQ I've seen in a high ground hold ever from any region so far today. Holy moly guacamole.
Holy moly guacamole, indeed. That was absolutely wild. Recognizing that he still had those 2 utility slots that he hadn't used, the Rift to go and the Chug Splash, playing that perfectly. Somebody needs to clip that on stream. Please shout it out to me or Shy at PookieFace, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. I want that one to go on my little wall of clips that I have on my desktop at home, because that was amazing.
Yeah, not only using that Rift to relocate, but then popping off those chug splashes as well, isolated. Talking about isolated now, Vibes finding someone on the low ground as well, once again utilizing these vertical positionings that happen. A trap coming down, looks like it takes out the ball that Kickback had, or the ball that was in their turtle at the moment. More focus coming down to the same place they got an elimination earlier. This is smart, as they know someone is going to be going for that loot. They can use it kind of as a set trap or bait for people to come in and see. Slipstream's still up and alive right now. You think anyone can catch them as they're moving around? Rexy's actually taking a little bit of damage going through.
Yeah, and there's so much building here. You know, if you do want to utilize the slipstream, you could possibly do it and land on top of any one of these players' builds, but really nobody in there right now. We're taking a look at Iota, and we have Vectical here as well, looking very, very good. And like, they do have that new proximity grenade launcher there. How are you feeling about that item so far in the game?
So the Proxim launcher is very interesting just because it does pack such a wallop, but at the same time takes an essential slot that everyone already has, you know, determined for their playstyle and their, you know, building, their rotations. So at the moment, although it is a very strong item, it's very situational, and you do have to give up, you know, say smokes, a heavy sniper, stuff that's been true and tested. It still is a very new item, in my opinion. Duos have been using it to turn tides, but at the same time, you know, which duos are we not seeing, because they do get eliminated at some point in the game. Just like right now, we see Iota going up with Vectical at the moment. 2 shadows and a Proxim launcher still available at the moment. Will they get the wall replaced? A stink, no, Chug Splash is coming down as his duo holds. This is a very dynamic fight. An edit coming through. Angel coming up with the pop, but does finally go down as he gets picked up. Aspire goes down as well. Now Iota has to move out by himself. Unfortunately, his duo does go down in that engagement, but they do pick up those 2 Elam points. So will that be worth it going forward? Would it be better for both of them to stay alive for placement, or would it be better for those Elam points to come through and then the possibility of a solo person playing for placement? Pookie, what do you think?
I mean, Iota certainly has his work cut out from him. There's still so many players left in this lobby. I think at this point he is in mid-ground, so if he can lay low for a little while, hope that these other players kind of take each other out, eliminate each other, he can kind of sneak in under the radar. If he does opt to go for placement points, that would probably be his best play. But here we are looking at Dade again. Johnny is still alive as well. 46 points so far on the leaderboard for these boys. They also have 3 eliminations between the 2 of them. I am waiting for these guys to pop off, Shai.
They're almost at their natural element. High ground is where these guys perform. We saw it last game. They're so good at just looking down, just like this. Morton getting popped. Dade just looking left and right. 23.76 ping won't be enough for that individual to stay alive. Fabs now fighting for height, decides to slow down. Him and his duo actually look like they're up there. No, that is a fight happening. A lot of Rifters now coming down left and right. Golden up top. We'll see if he can stay shiny while he looks at everyone else down in the server. A lot of people still rifting. Looks like the Bolt boys are up top as well. Not sure where Johnny is. He's right below Dade, actually. A lot of hard mats now being used. It's going to be very hard for people to just pickaxe in the boxes. It's going to take a little bit more time. Once again, now they're going to be choosing to stay on mid-ground, not fighting for height just yet. They do have a lot of mats, so maybe they're waiting for the rest of the lobby to use all their mats in these fights, then take it. 90's coming in now. We'll see if Dade can go up top. Johnny already up there. He's going to be adjusting his path left and right. Not only does this give him the movement option, but the angles for the shots as well, as he's going to be sneaking behind using enemy builds, finally catching up. On the backside, a big 130 shot going down on Golden, all the way getting dropped to bronze now. Unfortunate for him. Shots getting up, down, or from up, getting shot from up top to down low now. This is where these guys have that insane accuracy. What do you make of this huge build?
Well, look at what happened. So Johnny was completely separated from Dottie in that position. He was at 50 HP. Dottie absolutely just cranking the 90s, working his way up the side of that mountain to get up to Johnny, ends up taking out players on his way and then utilizing those chug splashes to heal his partner up. That is the duo partner you want.
Absolutely. You want someone that can support you, but also attack. You know, protect, attack.
Protect, attack, gives health back.
Absolutely. That was sick. I'm not going to lie. That was really good.
Thanks.
200 mats left now. As more elims come up top, it's just relaxed for these guys. Another day in the park, another walk on the beach. It's just easy comings for them. Shots getting shot up from the bottom side now, but since they are on brick, it's going to be nice and supported. Oh, Geo, oh no, taking a lot of storm damage coming in from a launch pad. Sometimes you do have to dip in the storm to make sure you don't take any shots. He finally goes down. Now it looks like it's a 2v1 as Prolo and Pear are looking up and down. Very dynamic, looking for all the elims. Fruity finally goes down as Prolo challenges height, kind of buying Pear time to see if he can see anything from the down low, kind of baiting Johnny and Dade up. Prolo and Pear now going to be looking side by side, not staying in the same box. Smart stuff, so the pressure isn't applied to both duos at the same time. They do look a little bit stressed on mats, though. If this shot keeps happening from up top, the pressure does not stop. They've actually, Johnny and Dade confirmed so many elims and then got the fruitions from them, the mats. We'll see if that will hold true. Johnny finally getting dropped. Prolo goes for a shot, does not connect. They're both in storm. Prolo goes down. Dade up top, has to stay on a campfire. Pear, if he gets this elim, can get the siphon, but it doesn't go through. The Bolt boys back to back popping off. Just easy comings, easy games.
I said they had to pop off.
Yeah.
And they did. I mean,
Nice.
I don't want to say it was because of me, but it was probably actually not because, it was kind of.
Is that chug splash?
It was because of me, and possibly also their skill and mechanical plays in the game. But, you know, here we are hopping into the next game. I don't really even know what I'm saying today. I think I have the Z curse or something like that. I'm saying random things and just kind of going with it. But here we have, is it Bo QT?
Yeah, it looks like it's Bo QT and Cold
Bo QT and Cold QT. Couple of cuties here, just sitting in their cone, kind of utilizing, I know you can't really see it, but there would be an edit there. They use that to visualize everything. So if you're sitting in cone, you can edit it out and kind of peek through it just a little bit. They are holding it on there, the edit, just to, you know, make quick work if they are having to move or if they do see an opportunity to take people out. And you can see people actually rifting through the sky. He does take that opportunity to take out Razzie. Razzie, unfortunately, getting to take the L dance done to him. You hate to see it, Shy.
Absolutely. Right now, too, Bo, although he can play around his builds, has to play around a gray tack as well. So we'll see if they do end up surviving. We go back to our featured duo that was there before, Jarvis and Tilt, both going to be in ballers as well. They do have a chug splash as well to use. They're going to be going left and right, utilizing the speed boost and momentum for looking the right way. When you hit that boost on the baller, there is kind of a skill gap if you do want to be very efficient. Tilt kind of going in between builds and a fall behind Jarvis. Will this prove bad for the duo? Jarvis still looking healthy. These guys do have 4 eliminations right now as we move in to the 5th moving circle. He's going to be looking to get a nice position. Looks like these guys finally got high ground, almost securing their balls.
Almost.
Tilt, or their ballers. Tilt's baller going down. Jarvis and Tilt now on the highest point in the map as the other individuals have to kind of hop off from Geyser's not going to be available to come down. Is it going to cost too much, though, as those combat shots are coming in? Astra getting switched on by that AR, maybe, you know, Tilt saying, it's time to beam.
You know what?
Enough of the pop shots.
Enough of the pop shots. Although he only had 36 HP left, or less, because, you know, it was just one shot there with the AR. But, you know what? I mean, better to go for that. If the first shot accuracy, it's a way easier shot than try to, you know, pump pellets into somebody from 100 yards away.
Absolutely.
But here we are taking a look again at Cold and Bo, just sitting in mid-ground, not really trying to go for anything. They have one elimination each. They are playing very, very safe right now. What do you make of this, Shai? Why are they playing so safe?
I mean, they're looking for options. A lot of good duos, when they have this much flexibility in their actual loadout build, you know, they have the heals, they have the rotation, they have the beam, they have the close range shots. They have options. It's not always good to force out one type of game style because you might have another one pop up in just 2 seconds. So they're probably just trying to feel out the server, use their position for that 6 zone, see how the server and the players in them will treat their rotation, their position, and then play off of it that way. Once again, they probably don't want to get too close to people as well, as Bo only has that great tack. These beams coming in greatly, getting a lot of pressure, eliminations left and right, up and down. Cold playing on a D-pad basically with this shot that he has. Just insane, hitting every single bullet that he fires. Cold now moving forward. 5 elims for these guys.
So I can pull some strings. Oh, they're thinking buttons. I like big time. Okay. So I can take the truck anymore? No, I guess I'm fucking no, that like. Oh, why do she?
Bye.